We have all the experience, the post or the bad, and we had learned many lessons from it. But in fact, from the dark side of the past, he does not leave us and continue to work until he takes revenge. Well, the sentence here now is summary of a scary event that players encounter and see. In this video, I'm here to explore one of the strangest and most mysterious things about Minecraft's integral parts at any other time. So if you want to know about this story, do not miss the continuation of this video. So let's go back a little bit and start the story from there. In early September 2009, when Minecraft was in its early stages, game developer Notch decided to replace Skin Steve and some of the game's mobs. At that time, these changes were not important due to the lack of many players. And this was why he had more freedom of action than now. Also in this part, Notch had to Steve the deleted skins. And the reason for this was the lack of game coding forces. Finally, importing the new skins ended most of the old ones, and they moved the folder called Deleted Archives. 6 years later, as Minecraft got bigger, so many players started using the old Steve skin and playing with it. But this was done by foreign programs and did not mean the return of Steve's old skin. June 6, 2016 was a strange start to a problem and a scary thing that did not exist before. At the time, Mojang was receiving reports from players about a person or creature with an old skin Steve, and this remained completely unanswered for the makers. It can be said that almost a week later, all members of the company worked to find a solution to this problem. Here it became a little easier with the idea of an old employee. Seeing the old skin that other players reported, that person remembered the archive folder into which Notch years ago deleted items, and suggested checking the location to the support team. After this story, some of the best programmers started looking through all the previous cases and examined the folders professionally. Their June 20 report changed everything and scared a lot of people. All the staff claimed that the archive folder and all the items in it were no longer strangely present in their place, and that they had apparently renamed the original game files. The first was that most likely one of the company's employees had done this and wanted to scare the players and ruin the game. And the second case could have been related, a hacker infiltrating the beta and original Minecraft files. It is unknown at this time what he will do after leaving the post. Indeed, perhaps the reason why we see the hirobrene sentence deleted in every update is the same, and this text actually refers to that incident. However, since that year, we have seen much less of this story and could not understand it well. In the following, I will explain to you some of the reports that player had about dealing with this character. Hello, my username is Bill Megafire, and to be honest, as far as I know, I was not the only one who experienced this strange event. The story started from a completely normal night. At that time, I was constantly playing Minecraft with my weak computer for about 3 years and made a lot of friends inside. This also made me one of the pro player and experienced different types of Minecraft modes. I think it was 12 o'clock at night at the time of its formation. And when I came back from outside, I wanted to study a little after eating. I never really remembered why I changed my mind from reading my books to playing Minecraft. But for whatever reason, it just made a terrible difference. Here, after doing all the things I said, I was already sitting on my chair and waiting for the game loading screen to pass. It can be said that a few minutes later I entered the map of Survivory, where I had been playing for a long time and started going home. After a while, the first things I did was go around my house and kill some mobs like zombies and spiders. Honestly, I always enjoyed fighting them in the dark, and most of the time I did the Inca with my best equipment. In this part of the game, my health was declining due to a lot of fighting, and that made me go to the place where I kept my pigs. When I got there, just like any other player, I started killing a few pigs and eating their meat to improve my health. But at the same time, the first weird thing about the game started to take shape, and my health remained the same despite eating. You might think here that this may have to do with eating zombie meat or something, but I checked all these things and I was sure of what I saw. Finally, even though this had not happened to me even once until then, I ignored it and walked to my house to sleep. On the way, according to my old habit, I was constantly shaking the mouse and looking for different places that were nearby. I can say that I was not far from my house and I could see the light from a distance. But at the same time, I felt something red on the ground and went back a little to see it again. There were traces of stones on the blocks below my feet, and this was something that could not happen naturally at all, due to the lack of torches. I hurried home and picked up a large number of them and returned to the same place. This time, when I reached the redstone, I moved slowly to where they had been drowned and was fully prepared for anything that might happen. From what I understood at the time, it seemed that the path was trying to lead me to the hills in front of my house, and it was as if something was waiting for me here. In a few minutes I had reached the top of the hill and wanted to understand the secret behind this story faster. But as I went farther and got closer to the last blocks, the game screen suddenly showed me a strange sentence, and then the monitor turned off for a few seconds. About 3 seconds later, everything went back to normal and I could see what was in front of us. The path of the stone columns had reached the middle of their blocks of coal, and on it was signed with the inscription removal. In this episode, I subconsciously quickly looked behind me out of fear, which made me see something that will stay in my mind forever. Someone with an injured skin Steve was right in front of me, just looking at me without any movement. When this situation arose, I still checked it, even though I knew I was offline. But as I guessed, everything was normal and there was no one in game except myself. I was still thinking about what to do when I was kicked out of the game and surprised that all my apps were deleted. That character, or whatever it was, destroyed all the files and programs I had and did something that I did not go to Minecraft for a long time. It's good to say that I even reported this case to the police, but after a long time they did not reach a conclusion, and this case has remained open until now. Well, guys, this was one of the scary reports about Steve, and I think it had a very weird story too. Anyway, thank you for watching the video so far. If you would like to support us, you can do so by subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thanks for